Come and get a taste of my mind. Come and take a look behind the scenes. See me being a father, see me hero every day. I'm on the grind. I won't never ever take a day off. Everything I do is gonna pay off. Your little father time with me, with me, with me. You should try your little father time with me, with me, with me. Come and get a taste of my mind. Come and take a look behind the scenes. See me being a father, see me hero every day. I'm on the grind. I won't never ever take a day off. Everything I do is gonna pay off. Your little father time with me.
Welcome back to another episode of Follow Time with De'Meco and Blair, a podcast where dads talk about balancing fatherhood, relationships, careers, and passions. I'm De'Meco, resident dad to a wackadoo toddler, also known as Sunny D. And this week, Mayari literally asked to go golfing. So we are right there in it. So I couldn't tell her no, obviously, because I have to capitalize on the moments she has interest so that we give her that bug early.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's awesome, dog. If I'm not mistaken, this is the second week she's done that to you, dude. She did that to you last week, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. I love it. All right, and I'm your play partner, your host from Motion Cuz, your cousin Blair, a.k.a. Sir Winnie, father to the 8-year-old who has me in swimming pools, public swimming pools. So for that, I drink your juice as a dad tax. And with that being said, we have a very special guest on, guys. Close friend to the podcast, close friend to the squad in general. The product manager over at, I'm going to fuck this up. I've been saying it 1,000 times in my head, and I'm going to still say it wrong. Cleveland and Srixon. We got Jerry in the house. Bro, Jerry, how you doing, man?
Thanks for having me on, y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Jerry,
sir.
aka Jer, aka someone to Jer, aka Hey Guy.
Hey, there we go. See, I know all them. I know all them was in there. I would have threw them bitches in there for you. Yeah.
I just want to be like y'all when I grow up. That's all.
I love it. I love it. Jerry, we have a question that we ask all of our guests that we have on, and it is, who are your top 5 fictional fathers?
I'm glad you asked that. I agree with the unanimous Uncle Phil, the Mufasa. Those are definitely father figures. I had to come a little different, and that might be my MO. So I don't know if this answer's ever been on your podcast, but I wouldn't be Zamunda Jer if I didn't mention King Jaffe Joffer from Coming to America. Yeah, he's a little
Yes, sir.
aloof. He has authoritative presence. He knows how to make things happen, and he takes pride and joy in his pride and joys. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
that's number
Beautiful.
one. Number two is a little off kilter. The name is Bunta Fujiwara, the dad from Initial D, the anime, that drifting anime. So like, again, a little off kilter, but his parenting style is basically don't give your kids the answer. Make them think for it. You plant the seed early in an inadvertent way, and they'll come around to find it.
Okay.
And you don't
Hell yeah.
see many dads that can take a corner with a car sideways while lighting a cigarette. Not that I'm condoning, any kind of health violations there. So that's my number two.
All right.
Number
Hey,
three, Blair
real
might
fast,
appreciate.
real
Okay.
fast before you
Yeah.
finish. Shout out to my dog Initial D over on Twitch. That's my homie. So when you said Initial D, I
Word.
instantly knew who you were talking about. Yeah, swear that lane. Yeah.
Blair might appreciate my number three, Mr. Anakin Skywalker, a very troubled father figure, where kids had to learn on his own. And like, I'll plant this early. Like, my dad hasn't really been in my life since they split up when I was 11, and so just like kind of learning sins from the father, and then redemption from that. You can grow up as good as you want to be, but temptation is a mother effer. So.
Hey, shout out to you for being the
Uh,
person who watches the episodes,
Yo.
brother. That's that Star Trek, man.
Yes.
That's one of them cult ones. You got to be in there to be in there. Yeah.
Yeah, when you can name planets and galaxies and all that, it's just nerd alert. So I'm just putting
There we
that out
go.
there early in the episode. Speaking of like fantasy, this one I thought of today. Tony Stark from MCU, like Iron Man.
Okay.
Self-absorbed, kind of cursed with knowledge, but when it came time for him to become a dad in Endgame, he was really compassionate. He spoke in a way that really communicated with his 5 or 7 year old, and he was still able to handle business in the short time that he was shown as a father, and that kind of really took to me. In some ways, you can say that about Iron Man's dad's character too.
Oh
Kind of
yeah,
industrialist, but does everything for the kids,
Sure.
in a
secret,
very
inadvertently.
in a very inadvertent way. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. I think there's a trend here
Yeah.
with my picks. And my last one, D'Amico will love. Absolute. This is a kind of a shoe-in and a two-parter. Bandit Healer from
Mm-hmm.
Bluey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had my kid. We were 7 months pregnant when the pandemic hit, and we discovered Bluey from Disney Plus. Also aloof, but definitely knows how to communicate with his kid and like spend time, which is kind of a stark contrast from my somewhat Asian upbringing. And then the part two of that is the character Chili's dad, Mort. So
Oh,
he's
okay.
aloof. He's not that tech savvy, even though like I like to think I'm kind of Gen X millennial tech savvy. But the way that he tries to engage with his grandchildren in analog ways, outsmarting the system.
There you go.
In essence, for the listeners, there's an episode where he comes over to visit the grandkids and they play a restaurant game where, oh no, granddad, you got to order from the app. And so he kind of outsmarts that where he sneaks an alligator in the delivery box and then they needed an alligator getter, and that happens to be granddad. So he kind of outsmarted the kids and
Okay.
engaged with them there. And for that, he kind of gets that fifth spot too.
There we go.
Hell yeah.
I have to do a
I
way better job of watching Bluey because he loves it. He talks about it like all the time. My daughter's out of that age group, so like I caught the Bluey wave because of D'Amico. But um, if the listeners, or for the people who are listening, we actually watched an episode live on a pod episode once, and damn near cried. Damn near cried. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh man. Okay, I got to listen back to know what episode that is. So don't spoil it for me. I'm gonna cry with y'all. So.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
that's a solid list, and I like the obscurity of some of those picks because I want to be schooled in how other people are consuming media and how they're looking at certain examples as for father figures. But shout out to the Anakin Skywalker and then the little gem that you said, like learning from the father's sins and kind of getting a feel for the conversation we're having right now as far as our relationships with our dads. That's kind of how I look at my relationship with my dad, albeit a very, I'm gonna say loving relationship because that's how I viewed it. But really reflecting on it as like, oh, I'm definitely learning more about how I want to be a father through the sins of my father.
Right.
If I'm gonna oversimplify that, and so I think that's really interesting to list a fictional father in that as, yeah, he may not be the best dad, but kind of leaving those nuggets of, hey, I'm just gonna lead you down a path of you got to figure this out on your own. Like that's just life.
Absolutely. And to put it into a musical context, like Hove did that, so he ain't got to go through that.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Bro, I'm talking. Hey, say that. Say that. Hope did that so you ain't have to go through
Yeah,
that.
I mean it's so real. Like I mentioned, like my so I came up from two military parents who served 26 years each in the U.S. Navy. And Blair, thank you for your service, by the way.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank
Um,
you.
I really appreciate that and respect that. Um, and so they kind of had me not like crazy military regimented upbringing, but my dad more so. Like it was a combination of the military and like Asian upbringing, so really strict. So by the time I was kind of pubescent, like the building blocks were already there. And even though like he and my mom went their own ways, like I kind of took those stepping stones and then found I guess solace like seeing through those holes and becoming a man ourselves
Mm-hmm.
and then kind of reconvening all of that like through listening to Jay-Z Blueprint Black Album yeah in my life and times like and just seeing like that business acumen combined with my dad's foundational stuff kind of helped me manage through as an adult in my manhood.
Okay, so
Hell
that's
yeah.
kind of wild that you say that in that way because I kind of like consumed fatherhood and like learning lessons in the same way. Um, Jay-Z, Kanye West, although the Kanye part right now might be a little obscure for a lot of people. But
Fair.
if you listen to Yeezy when he was worldwide record breakers, when he was in Chicago before the dropout, this before the accident, before the dropout, he was a GOAT. Like him, GLC, like all those guys goated. And then like picking it up, and I would say even now as like an older father, like around 33, 34, I found this artist from Southwest A-Leaf, Texas, Toby Wigway, and his entire method and like methodology and morals in his music is like, I'm a man of substance. I don't cuss. I don't swear. If you swear, you can't be on a song with me. My kids and my wife come with me everywhere I go. So if they can't come, I can't come. Sorry. Like it's very faith, African centric driven. So like hearing music from those guys has kind of sculpted and molded how I operate as a father, as a businessman, and as a friend. So that's wild that you say that, because I low-key thought I was the only one in a sense. Like,
That
just me
cultural
that thinks that weird.
resonation.
Yeah. I swear to God, bro. I was like,
Absolutely.
it's only me who walks around and like watch the Deion Sanders of football life and like really resonated when he said, I created primetime in my bathroom when I was a kid because I was embarrassed to my mom. Like I created the Bishop persona to protect Blair and to protect all the things Blair had. But now, like, as you guys can see and hear, I've never once said my name was Bishop on this podcast because Blair is now strong enough to be in the forefront and protect Bishop. Bishop was that angry dude. Blair is now able to protect himself and be more emboldened in the fuck ups, in the failures, and in the joys of who I am and what that means. So, thank you for bringing that out, bro, because that just gave me like, that's a battery in my back to know that other people resonate with music and culture and movies like we do. Like the two guys who started this podcast was like, hey man, I kind of nerd out about Marvel stuff and I think being a dad's hella cool. You want to talk about that? Yeah, let's hope somebody else wants to talk about it too. So like to know that like we've 5 seasons in, going on 6, we've created this at least small handful of homies who fuck with us and think like we do. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. No, I'm super thankful that Jerry, you're on the show. Obviously, we've been kind of DMing back and forth for a minute, and you showed support early on when we first came onto the show. Blair, this dude showed me a screenshot that he had his list on notes like 3 weeks ago, like ready to go, like he was prepared.
Yeah.
I changed it this morning too.
I gave him the fake out, y'all. That's what he did. No, but
he created the note.
That's what we wanted though. Like, yeah, like when we send out the invite, like, and it's not like a knock to any other guests or any future guests, but like,
oh, for sure.
When we send that invite out, like, understand, like, you're taking time away from your family, so are we. So we appreciate you, and we want you to know, like, the questions that we have. Although that first one might be a bit much for people, we ask them just give us 1, 2, or I don't know. We've set on the episode while people are like, "Oh, I didn't know you were going to ask me that." I was like, 4 seasons in.
Did you read the email?
At all? But it's all love at the end of the day. But when people, hey Blair, I know you gonna fuck with this answer. Anakin Scott, that was 4 or 5 episodes ago. Like that's a fairly new conversation that we had. So like that made me feel good. Like, hey, cuz really want to be here, so let's talk. Like, I just sent the message out to my daughter, like we going bowling at 9 instead of 8. Daddy.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, truth be told too, like on a father tip, my wife is out of country right now at her global headquarters for a major sportswear brand. So I literally have my he turns 5 next week. So he's out eating this Happy Meal that I rushed to get before this podcast. Talk about like father time, right? Like I'm just rushing to get here.
You gonna get them nuggets, boy. Yeah.
Whoa. Before we go any further, huge thanks to the Father Time fam for tuning in. We seriously appreciate you exploring the wild world of fatherhood with us. Enjoying this episode? Then hit that subscribe button right now. Seriously, it's the best way to support the channel and make sure that you're always on time for Father Time. We wouldn't want you to miss out on a single dose of laughter or proud dad talk. Oh, you got a question or a story? Drop it in the comments. And for more content, be sure to follow us at Father Time Pod on all socials. All right. And back to the episode. Peace.
So, getting right into it. This is my first time deep diving, finding out about my new friend, my new brother here. You kind of spoke about it a little bit before. Talk about like your upbringing, if you would. Like, what was that like? And how does your upbringing either alter how you parent now, or guide you in the way that you parent now?
Absolutely. So, in a nutshell, born in Hawaii to the two military parents, ended up starting out in San Diego, where the population was primarily half Black, half Filipino. But having military parents and lived multiple spots before even settling down gave me kind of like a multicultural, and in some cases, multinational point of view
Mm-hmm.
altogether. So I know how to maneuver between different types of personalities or even groupthink for that matter, because sometimes you can be a big fish in a small pond, whereas as you can probably tell from my father list, like I've kind of been outside in, just inadvertent or like in the cut, if you will. And so regimenting into that, like I did 4 years of Army Junior ROTC, which kind of gave me more of that regimented feel. And all the while, like I don't think I've ever explained this verbally, and not even to my wife. Like I've always thought about I would be a good dad if X, Y, Z, like the whole damn alphabet and then some. And then once that kid is born, like that kind of went out the window. Like I can't even recall any of that, which is wild to me.
Yep.
Um, but you know, growing up through that, and then my professional life, both I would say streetwear fashion industry. I did a stint where I was a product designer and product developer for Royal Elastics and Clay Footwear. Like I was kind of in that cool guy space, which gave me perspective of like how to look holistically and ahead of the curve. So that way I know how to communicate that to my son as far as everything down to sports. Watch the pitcher's hand before you even try to swing the bat. Like,
Yes,
right
the
before
small
they
things. Yeah.
release it and how they release it. It's
Hell
those
yeah.
small things. And
Mhm.
again, like I can go Virgo detail on it or Virgo judgment on it.
I love that.
And then yeah, I moved up to Long Beach, California for design school. I want to design cars, and they said, well, if you want to do that, you got to pay 60 grand and go to this other school in Pasadena. But if you want to design everything else, cool. What I'm trying to get at is, again, it's like that zoom out view, zoom out.
Yeah.
You could say, we want a new lawnmower, but you got to zoom out and say, yo, we need something that's going to cut grass uniformly. How, like, think of all the ideas, think of what it's going to be made and how it's going to be made and how it's going to be marketed. So, like, you take this super macro and super micro view, and then how do you condense that all into giving those learnings throughout time, hopefully, to a developing mind. I mean, life through new eyes, through my son, is something I could have never imagined in my entire lifetime. Building up to, oh man, if I was a dad, I'd do this, do that.
Hmm.
I couldn't. Every day and every waking moment is new.
It's an
Not to get
awesome
like
feeling.
crazy philosophical on it, but like it's crazy new. And as much as like I've been through it, and I'm cool guy, I've seen this all before. Like, no, you haven't, dog. Like you have a little one that you have to take care of and show them the ropes and have them experience it, because if they don't experience it, they don't know nothing.
Yep. Yeah, you're
They
you're
got to go
guiding
through
them.
it
You
and
got you got to let them fall. You got to let them get the scrapes, the bumps, the bruises, all of it. Yeah.
oh, trust. I'm like knocking on wood, like waiting for the day my kid hopefully climbs the tree and breaks his arm, and like, yo, I shouldn't do that.
Bro, my
But
daughter, yeah, my daughter
yeah.
thinks the world is made of like foam or something, bro. Because she just like walks with her head in the air, like just. I'm like, girl.
There are days
Yeah,
I
that
pray for that for my kid.
that
I do.
reminds
I
me.
do want to like trip her sometimes. Like when we're in public, like I'll trip her and push her. I'm like, get your balance right, cuz.
Just remember boundaries. Yeah, no, that that reminds me. Early in like season 3, I think Blair, you were like, bro, you got to let your baby girl toddle. Like she's a toddler.
Yeah.
Like you got to let her. Like it's the only way that she's gonna learn. I think that's probably been the best little gem that I've been taking while my daughter goes through being a toddler. Is it's the only way she's gonna learn. Like, yeah, I can be the dad that teaches, but I'm like, you know what's the best teacher? It's literally nature. Like you
Life.
got
Yeah.
to let them do that thing.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to let her jump on the couch though.
You
'Cause I'm
don't
like,
want
I can
to like.
see. I see you can.
Yes.
I'm seeing you're gonna crack your head, but I
5 hours
like
at
I
the
gotta
ER.
do it. Yeah, I don't
It's
want to deal with
physics.
that.
It's the irony of like Father Time and Mother Nature, and Mother Nature always
Always
wins.
wins.
Always wins. I forgot to add in the upbringing too. That might be a little important and somewhat controversial to some degree. When I did move to San Diego, we did live in a place that had um, a predominantly favorite color around.
Got
Uh,
you.
and yeah,
Red.
by fifth grade, for all those that are watching this on YouTube, like by fifth or by kindergarten, you know how to do this. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
not to be flashing that, but like, but what I'm trying to get at is that taught me codes of conduct,
Yeah.
rules of engagement. So you combine that with the military upbringing, it's like
Hey, that's a dangerous
it,
person,
in
bro.
Hell
this day
In
yeah.
and
a good way.
age.
In a good way. In a good way to be able to like have the discipline of a militant man, but also understand how to navigate street code, because that is one thing in Oregon we got. It's a lot of fake gangsters and stuff in Oregon, but one thing in Oregon
So
that's not truly there is that presence of, yo, don't go down that block or you can't hit. I mean, I just told De'Meco this, like, De'Meco is 6 city blocks away from one of the most notoriously dangerous neighborhoods in Chicago. In its current state,
Yeah,
six city blocks
I almost lived a block away. Like we almost bought a home a
on
block away.
64th. Hey, what's up, little dude?
Man,
he's
what's up,
having me
little
open
man?
his deal, and
Yeah, there
today
you
was
go.
face painting day, so we got a Spider-Man in the
Spider-Man.
house.
There we
Let's go.
go.
I can't wait to
Let's
look back on this
go.
and say, yeah, that's it.
That's it.
You
That's the
still here?
move. That's
Hold
the
on, no, no,
move.
no.
Oh
Bring him
yeah,
back,
yeah,
bring him
yeah.
back. Yeah, big dog.
Look.
And I got a
Yeah.
bunch of Spider-Man comics, dude. Hey, Uncle Blair got you.
Oh
Don't
man.
worry about it. Uncle Blair got you.
Oh, he see blue things. That's what he says.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you do. There you go.
All right, run along. Get.
All right. But
Oh,
get
Yeah.
too deep into
Summer.
it, into the personal, deep, philosophical, Virgo-esque answers and questions. I, as a host, co-host of this beautiful podcast, forgot one segment, and this is a segment that Jerry, you might be a little hip to with watching, and our guests are for sure a little hip to. This is the Forgotten Fictional Father segment. So, De'Meco, who do we have for this week?
This week, because I knew this was going to be a very Filipino episode, I'm dipping into one of my favorite Disney movies as of recently. I'm talking Raya the Last Dragon, and the father in that movie, while he, spoiler alert, like is frozen in time early on. Chief Benja is that dad.
Oh,
He was
bruh.
literally
Yeah.
a example to his daughter Raya, trying to bring the nations together and extending, hey, I'm going to kind of kill them with kindness, invite them over for a meal. Very Filipino, very potluck, very like, yo, let's eat. Let's eat some food.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he just really, more than just being a parent, he was like a mentor to his daughter, and really led by example, and just really tried to teach kindness in doing it, not just saying, hey, you need to be nice to people, like, but seriously trying to show, hey, I don't mind putting myself on the line to be kind to others. So he is this week's Forgotten Fictional Father. Yeah.
Yo, brother, when
Yeah.
I tell you
Benja.
the second that you said the movie name, I can vividly remember going to see it in theaters. And then the second it came to Disney, watching it 4 times in one night. Penny loved
That's
that.
Damn.
impressive.
She loved that movie, bro.
We had Jerry, before or tomorrow's episode, we have Tessa on, Tessa POV. She's
Yeah.
our first
Female.
non-dad. Yeah, first non-dad, non-parent
Shot-town.
guest, and Chi-Town. So that was an interesting episode, just because Blair and I had no bearing to how that conversation was going to go, because we talk about fatherhood for most of the show, but that was something that we wanted to tap into, knowing that we're talking about it right now, learning from the sins of the father, learning about fatherhood through our experience of our own fathers. That's why we had Tess on, because like as a girl dad, I wanted to know, hey, give me some game on how to be a better girl dad as a daughter. So maybe that's something that you can speak to as well, like what fatherhood means to you being a dad, but also how you experienced fatherhood as a young kid. Obviously you kind of touch on it a little bit, but I'm really curious to see how that kind of shaped the father you are now and you hope to grow to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So, compared to most of my peers, like I turned 43 in September. So I had my kid late in life. And as a master club fitter in golf, to the uninitiated, what a master club fitter does is kind of assess what's going on. And I'm going to bring this very high level, so it's not like crazy niche. Like we see what's going on, what's the need, we kind of experiment. That was my dating phase when I was a bachelor and living in mid city LA
Okay.
for many years. And it's that whole like was it crazy beautiful chart? Like these are the women you date, these are the women, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, yeah. So like once I
It's a
found my
certain level for
wife and
bad and crazy. You gotta.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. And like once you find something that you can commit to and like have devotion to, um you go for it, right? And I'm sure like you gentlemen can relate too. So how that relates as to a father, it's like I've amassed all of this experience in life, whereas I can learn from a lot of my peers who had kids when they were earlier and kind of just like piggyback off that, but modernize it and streamline it. And like any father, no set plan goes to plan. You deal with
Yeah.
it. You
Yeah.
deal with each challenge. It's like playing golf. Like, yo, if you hit out of bounds, you got to find
Play it
some way
where
to
it
get
lies.
inbound and
Yeah.
just salvage the
Like you
situations.
planned to hit it in the fairway. That thing did not go in the fairway. You got to play that next shot though.
You
Yeah,
plan to get
and
that kid a
like
bath tonight. They do not want a bath tonight.
absolutely, Blair, you know this too. Like another golf parallel. Like the harder you try and the firmer the grip, like it's just gonna go sideways. Like, yo, you just gotta ease into it. RP Carl
Woosah,
Weathers, it's all
motherfucker.
on the hips.
Woosah, motherfucker.
Yeah.
What's up?
The harder you try, the harder it's not
Woosah.
going to go that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so yeah, as a father, it's literally everything that I can dream of. And I did mention like my bachelorhood and how kind of late in life I did all that. So I will say on this episode, I don't think I've ever verbalized this as well. Like it was hard reconciling like my freedom. Like, oh, it takes an hour to go 7 miles in LA to go home. I'll just go to the range on a whim. And now it's just like every way, do I got to go to preschool before they close at 6 p.m. Like
Hmm.
pick his
Mm,
ass up. So it
Oh
was
shit! I gotta
really
go pick up
hard
groceries. I gotta get that. Wife needs
that
something.
part. Yeah,
yeah.
and shout out to my wife
Yeah.
who really is the backbone in this company or this this foundation. That's a Freudian slip company. I always used to say like when you're dating, it's they're all interns, but then like when they can get promoted to partner, that's like when you go and handle the business, you know, like
Said
Yeah.
I
how you
gave
get
her
your
a raise. She's a partner
ROIs.
now.
Yeah,
You've been
they check your
promoted.
KPIs.
You've been promoted.
What's
Yeah,
that?
that's that whole hova. That's that whole hova mindset, you know?
Yeah,
It's the
For
rock.
sure.
it's the
Hell
rock.
yeah.
Let's
So
go.
I got a question. No, like I mean, because we can nerd out a little bit about golf. I'm very curious because um, having that background in fitting, this is something that I'm currently. This is a very current question that I have for myself, and maybe it'll help somebody, a listener. I'm obviously going to go through a swing change and start taking lessons with the boy Chris Staples, but I'm very
Yeah.
curious to like the obviously the immediate fix of knowing that the clubs are fitted for the golfer in the process of a swing change. Is it easier or better for the golfer to have that fitting to the current swing and then work the swing change around that. I was like, what should I prioritize? The
Yeah, so
fitting or
there's
the golf?
I
Because obviously the lesson is going to be a long-term fix.
absolutely. And shout out to Chris, shout out Contra Country Club, shout out Aaron Grimes.
Yeah.
I support that wholeheartedly. That's the place they're trying to fix up is literally less than 2 miles from my house. That place
Oh
closed
yeah.
down right when we went into escrow 6 days before the shutdown. And
Oh
then I
wow.
drove by and they had just closed the gates. They had just locked it up. So
Damn.
shout out
Fuck.
to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Circling back to your question though, D'Amico, I would get that a lot. And so there's a couple approaches and I'll try to keep them brief. As a salesman, I would say the less you fight your clubs, the better you can retain your lessons. As a human, as a compassionate human, I would say work with your instructor. Shout out Chris, if you do go forward with that. Find your natural motion, and getting fitted clubs in a long term, medium to long term, will make it a lot easier when you're no longer fighting the clubs. So
Okay.
find a motion. Like if a tool is too heavy for you and it makes you go X, Y, and Z, like the situation is not going to work out. It's go with something
Type shit.
steady, find your rhythm, and,
Type
and,
shit.
and do that.
Perfect.
No, yeah.
That's good. No, I can appreciate that. I can
I
appreciate
just
that.
got my I just finished up my um the one lesson that I have with Chris. I will get more. But within that one lesson, I have completely changed my golf swing. And like I can feel the difference because the ball is legit going where I'm aimed and where I know it's supposed to go. Um, so much so that not last week, this was be 2 weeks ago now, that I won like on hole 9 of my league. I got the longest drive of it, 260. So I was like, yeah, shout out to me, bro. I was like, oh shit.
Shout out to me.
I had never shout out to Chris and me because I never
Yeah.
knew. But
That
now that's in my mind. Now like I'm like these clubs that I have are shout out to my boy Josh. These are his hand me downs. Like and Josh is 6'4", 6'5". I'm 6'2", 6'3". So I need something that's gonna be more for myself. So like in my mind, I'm like, dude, do I spend the money now? But it's not even like, do I spend the money to get fitted and then get the clubs? It's like, how the fuck do I sell new clubs to my wife? Because that's the nigga who's gonna tell me no. Yo,
right.
the clubs you got in that back room work, and until they stop
Yeah.
working, no. And if
So
they
that-
do stop working, I'm gonna ask you why. Are you just
Yeah,
breaking
so
these
that was
clubs just because?
that was something that I was doing. So before the set that I have now, I was still using the set of clubs that I was fitted for back in high school, back in 04, 05. Shout out that fitter and that brand of clubs. Favorite irons. First time I ever played blades, I was like, these are the
Damn.
thing. Um,
CBs, baby.
but when I got, obviously I'm a lot bigger and stronger than I was in high school.
Oh, really?
I was like, all right, just a little bit. I think I saw my driver's license that I got when I was in high school. I was like 125. I'm like, nigga, I'm 100 pounds heavier now. Like I'm
I added a whole
lot
nother
bigger.
me to me.
Exactly. So I went to a fitter and I was like, hey, I'm curious to know what new clubs I need to get or the specs of those clubs. And I was like, is it possible just to adjust my current set to fit the loft and lie of what you're fitting me for, just to kind of bridge the gap? Because I was like, I don't have the money to spend on clubs right now, but how do I make the current set that I have as close to that new set that you want me to buy?
You can do that?
So that's something you can do.
So hold
Yeah,
on, I can take the clubs that
absolutely.
I have and they will fix the loft.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
can
know what the
adjust
fuck
the
that
loft
means,
and the
bro,
lie.
but
Yeah,
It
all
sounds
good.
good.
So Blair, in essence, depending, like, I don't know if you're taller or shorter than the guy before you with those clubs.
shorter, yeah.
They're shorter. Okay, so there's a really big possibility, like those tools might be a little longer, especially if you find yourself like hitting the ground like way before the ball, kind of thing. So yeah, like offline, I can depending where in Oregon you are, like I can send you to recommend some
I
places
would
for you
drive wherever I need to go. I
that'll
mean,
take care. So
I
now
would
this
drive.
is a cautionary tale, though. This is for everyone listening, for both y'all and everyone listening. Like this can easily become what we call a club hoe. So
Okay.
Once you get, yeah, like the new shiny flashy things, I gotta have them. And once you learn how to flip it and learn how to sell it to your wife, like my garage is full of clubs where it's wild. Like I had told myself, I'm like, yo, this is gonna be the last set I'm gonna ever buy. This is gonna be my end all be all until unless I have like any mobility problems or
Yeah.
like whatever, because we're about to have this kid. I'm just turning 40. This is gonna be my 40th, and then next thing you know, I get hired by a golf like club manufacturer, and now there's like three extra bags and
Yep.
maybe two
There you
extra
go.
sets. I'm not gonna tell how many sets are in my garage, but
Hey, pull up if you
yeah,
want.
yeah,
Pull
yeah,
up you
absolute.
You saw the hand
And I'm trying to,
motions. You saw the hand
I
motions he
bet,
did. Pull up
but
yeah.
you
if you
didn't
want.
because we blurted out.
My
Yeah.
golf towel and my golf bags are a particular color as an homage to my upbringing, if y'all know what I mean. So like
Hell yeah, hell yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like
No, that
people lack code. Like this can go so many
Yes,
ways.
sir.
But
Yes,
that's
sir.
all to say, like you find works best and you have the devotion and the faith. And from what you guys have told me from lessons and fitting, like you work within first
Yeah,
before you outwardly project. And
for
then it
sure.
becomes a hit and giggle. Like
But yeah, because I mean, the first time I ever swung a good golf club was just at Fiddler's, and they don't actually fit you there. They just have a dude that's like, "Oh, you hit those clubs pretty good. Go get the $3,000 ones." I'm like, "No, nigga, I need something for me."
no.
But the first time I
Yeah.
actually hit it was the TaylorMade Stealth. First time I ever hit that, like the way it sounded and felt, I felt like they had just like I hit the ball and it went straight, and I was like, "That's not even how my shot is." And I know that. What did you do to this club? And I felt like somebody behind me was just throwing the ball straight as shit. And throw it. I'm like, "Why is it going so?
uh,
I want this club
Th-
now."
There's a whole ass placebo effect for that.
And then you get
Complete
to the
placebo
fucking course
effect.
and you hitting all fucking dirt.
I almost have to admit that I'm a bit of a club hoe because I got three sets of golf clubs here and
Damn.
going the way that you started that club hoe tangent, I was like, oh, I'm definitely a club hoe because I was chasing a name. So we can keep this on. Like I was
Yeah.
fitted at Club Champion, and I was fitted to a set of Srixon irons. And at the time,
You're in love
I was
with.
being yeah, I was in love. I was in love with TaylorMade because
There you
my guy Trotty was, he was hooking me up with stuff. So I was like, brand adjacency. I was like, well, TaylorMade's giving me gear, so I was the type of person like I want the bag wedges all the way through. I want that. And so while I was fitted for Strixon, I was like, but tell me about these P790s or these P770s or this like that line because I
go.
was very much
If it's
hoeing
free,
out
it's me.
for the
Yeah.
for the
Give
for
me
the brand.
peas. If it's
But
free, it's
I
me.
Absolutely.
I want a little peas. Whatever you
And
got,
and
give
that's
me
the thing.
peas.
Yeah. Oh, bet. Like I heard from an industry friend too. Free is me. Like
Oh, big time.
like,
If it's free, it's me,
yeah.
big dog. I ain't turned down
yeah.
nothing but my collar.
Absolutely. And that's the whole thing too. Like especially like coming from the cool guy industry. Like you see certain brands they can throw so much money at marketing rah, but like there's this like cool in the cut one that no one really knows, and like unless like someone else knows, like if you know, you know type. I have a tendency
Yeah.
to work for those type of brands, Club Champion being one of them. I used to be, that's why I was in Chicago for a whole ass month in the
Yeah.
winter.
For sure.
But yeah.
All right,
Like at
so
the end of the day, yeah, go ahead,
no,
like
no,
you
no,
gotta
you got
do
it.
what's best for you, that's all.
So you
Yeah.
kept you said something a few times, and I want to kind of get a good grasp on that and kind of get your understanding on your view of golf, the scope of golf through YouTube and IG, right? You've been saying something like "cool guy." Is that what you're saying? Cool guy,
Yeah,
like
and
cool
that's kind
guy
of
club type
evolved.
thing. Yeah. So
Yeah, like cool guy. Yeah.
what is so what was it originally like in your eyes? Because I remember
Yeah.
what being a
So,
hype beats was growing up, right? It was like you legit
right.
were more of a Wale fan. You like Supreme, you like Babe. That
Right.
was when it was like cool. I was one of those kids who had the see-through
Blog
Jordans
era.
and the
Yeah.
see-through Air Force Ones, the blog era, right? And then it
Yeah.
became the hoarders, the people who only bought Jordans, the people who only bought the Dunks or whatever the cool shoe was. Like, what is that in golf, and what is your scope on golf? And I
Yeah,
guess
so
like your
I'm
temperature.
glad you mentioned that too. And this will be like a full circle, like bring everything together moment. Like I like where it's at. When I entered the industry almost 2 decades ago, there was none of that. You know, it was all stuffy. It was all a particular complexion of skin, if you will.
Mhm.
And it was a whole other like socio-economical demographic, really. And while I was working cashier retail and then work my way up, like I kept on waiting and waiting and waiting. And while I was working for a footwear brand, cool guy footwear brand, I did notice that this guy who had kind of a lifestyle culture magazine called Frank 151, by the name of Steven, like he was like he started a like a IG page just for a mood board, just so like he wouldn't piss people off, like posting, oh, what's golf? Oh, what's golf? And mind you, this is like 2016, 2017. Turns out that guy's name is Stephen Malbon. Uh, yeah, so like, we became fast
Full
friends.
circle.
The way you did
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. And there's even more to that too. So that's kind of like stage one. And shout out to the whole Malman crew, Erica, like even Cole Young from Metalwood, who's with Malman in its inceptional days. And so it was getting the word out, and it was amazing. This is all pre-pandemic, and then the pandemic happened, and like this is no shade because I love a lot of these brands, but like all these brands came from left field, like after the pandemic. And I get it. There was nothing going on and people wanted to take up the game. And I always wanted the game to grow. But like once like can I cuss here?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
Okay,
nigga a
okay,
lot.
yeah, like yeah. So once all the fuckery came about, and this is not me shit talking, but it's just the game. Like, you'll get like these A tier, B tier, C tier, uh, influencer creators, what do you want to call them? Just seeing all these carbon copies of carbon copies. I'm just like, dude, this is streetwear and surf skate all over again. Like,
It's a
I
skateboard
don't
era.
consider myself a tastemaker, and for of the past couple of years, this is almost therapy to talking to you guys about this. Like I felt like a steward that had to mend like the old traditions of golf with the new, hey, we're busting it wide open for y'all. Like, yeah,
You had
yeah.
to be the middle
So
child. You had to be the middle child.
yeah, absolutely. And like those that I do fuck with, for lack of better terms, like they're actually either representing in a space where we're hardly represented. Side tangent, the recent US Open, JJ Spawn, Filipino
Mhm.
Mexican from Los Angeles, wins this thing
Hmm.
that that is sponsored by a company that I work for. That means the world to me.
Yeah,
Means
yeah.
the world to me. But like I heard a coworker say something to the effect of, man, like Filipinos, y'all will latch on to like anything and anybody that becomes popular. And like I took my glasses off, I was like, in my head, I was like, motherfucker, do you know the lack of representation? You know why we latch
Like,
on? Because I don't see the
yeah.
brown like out there.
Uh-huh.
Like I
Mhm.
came up in a time of like Afrocentrism. So like staying in tune with the self and like the roots, for lack of better terms. Like
Yeah.
and that comes full circle to what I mentioned with like gang culture, with like having codes. So like knowing how to operate within the social space, like not becoming a dancing clown, like shucking and jiving for the gram or for
Big
likes
time.
and content. Like no, like you gotta have self-preservation, because in the end, this shit will shoot you in the fucking foot when you try to advance in life.
We kind of say that in in passing, not to like step on anybody's toes or shit talk, but we say the same thing. Like it's every company that every company that you see now is trying to be Malbon. Um, every every brand that's a lower, like you said, B C tier, if we're classifying Malbon and Ryder Steel, Bradford and all those guys like A tier,
Yeah,
like like the Instagram people. There's so many companies who are trying to just like work with them, and if they can't get them, then they try to create their own little car instead of being original, right? And we
right.
talked about that off pod. We talked about that on pod about like finding our own pocket and like where we operate in that space. And I think this is a beautiful way to kind of talk about that in a more open space where if you are going to be a company that's out there and you don't want people to have open shop talks about what they feel like, or in your mind, us shit talking your brand, have a brand that has more to it. Um,
Amen.
You know what I'm talking about? Like
more
pare.
substance.
Pare has substance because pare means friend in Filipino. It's for the Filipino culture to latch onto and to ride with.
What up,
It's
Maddie?
yeah, big time. Shout out to Maddie.
What up, Maddie?
It's guys like Gerard with For the Soul, for Bata Soul, excuse me, and with Ateneo is guys like Zach Neal who work
Yeah.
with the Good Dads program that works with an
Yeah,
entire
golf dads. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Hope
that's
Buena
with
Farms.
gente.
Buena Gente. You know
Buena
what I'm talking about out
gente,
here in Oregon.
yo.
It's
And
so
you mentioned him earlier, Chris Staples with
Chris
Compton Country
Staples. So
Club
like
Hub
there's
Initiative. Yeah.
groups and people who you could rock with and fuck with that have purpose behind them. You just don't
Absolute.
you being the not us, but you being the people who are out there just trying to latch on to what's the coolest thing, don't see it. So it will never be cool to you. Having a purpose is popular. And that's what this podcast is. And that's what all those people that we just named, that's what they do. They make purpose popular. And if you can't fuck with that, then like you're gonna be a clown anyway.
And
So like
that's why I'm grateful
yeah,
for to you, to all these brands that we just named, and then some. Like, you gotta have a purpose, otherwise you're wasting breath. That's what
yes
Nipsey
sir.
Hussle said. So,
Yeah, what we here for.
R.I.P. Nipsey.
So Jerry, you kind of touch on it with the pride that you had with JJ winning the U.S. Open, working for a company that he's also working with or being sponsored by, and then we talk about with Pare, Ateneo. Talk about how that has felt for you, seeing more Filipino brands popping up in the space of golf, while the representation in professional golf is, let's say, I'm going to say it's on the rise.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. So, having grown up in like a half black, half Filipino populated space, and having an outsider perspective, honestly, coming up, I was like like low key xenophobic against Filipinos because they would be so like group thoughty, right? And I would be on the outside. But now I'm in a space where I'm still on the outside for the majority. Um, but I'm seeing representation from brands like Buena Gente and Pare and students. Shout out Michael,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of friends. So like, I love seeing these diverse pockets of folks coming up, and not just like Filipinos. Like, I have a lot of pride in that, and seeing folks like Jason Day or JJ or Rico Hoy on professional tours, and Isaiah Salinda too. Shout out him too. Um, and I like seeing that folks of all color, like Tim O'Neill, on the Champions Tour, like,
Mm-hmm.
he's having his shine, like, coming back. Um, I just wish there were more like folks of color, and now that there are more opportunities of people bubbling up, and generational wealth within people of color coming up, so they can raise their kids in such programs and in professional sports. I love seeing that. Just acceptance, understanding is kind of what I'd like to see, and I'd like to preach to my son that you're of the merit of your own work and not the tone of your skin. And that's the thing too. So like in the cool guy golf space, circling back to that, I had a really hard time kind of like first accepting like the quote unquote like COVID golfer and the boom of their popularity and like the shine, which I can give two F's about. But I found peace within myself, resolve, like educating, like finding a spot to share the knowledge and bridge that gap, and rather than being standoffish and like, hey, y'all, fuck y'all, like y'all ain't cool, but it's like, no, more so like, hey, here's how you can get on and be successful.
Yeah.
And some of those friends have went on to become like regional champions and et cetera, from being newer golfers by being educated and participating.
Yeah.
Hell
That's
yeah.
me. I'm a new guy. I'm
Hell
a
yeah.
COVID golfer. Well, for COVID, my black ass would not be playing golf. My
I
wife
love
got me.
that.
My
I
wife got
love
me
that.
resort golf. We talked about it in the Father Time on the Go episode with Josh. Resort golf was my very first time playing golf. Kicked my ass the first hole, 12 balls into the fucking pit right in front of me. Hooked.
Yeah. If it wasn't for COVID golfers, I'd be out of a job.
That-
Simple as that.
Simple as that. All right. Well, we could talk to you all damn day, but you have a baby boy to get to. De'Meco, you got to get some things going, and I definitely need to go bowling with my daughter because that's date night. But Jerry, we appreciate you so much for coming on, bro, sharing your thoughts, your wisdom, being a little vulnerable, and also dropping mad gems. We definitely needed that this episode, bro. We
Mad
appreciate it.
gems.
We really
Mad
do.
gems.
So for Jerry,
It's honest work.
it's what I do. It's what I do. So yeah. So for Jerry and for my brother De'Meco, aka Sonny D, I am your player partner, host of Your Country Cousin Blair, aka Sir Winnie, better known as Southside Bunker Bear. Make sure you tell somebody you love them because I love you. And like Jay-Z said, let's see what happens when I no longer exist. Peace.
Come and take a look behind the scenes. See who's been a father, superhero every day. I'm on the grind. I won't never ever take a day off. Everything I do is gonna pay off. Your little father time with me, with me, with me. You should try your little father time with me, with me.